Today in 7-7 radical equations, we're going to be solving equations that contain radicals. I think you'll find that these are pretty simple, especially if you just follow my 3 steps and aren't careless. Don't try to do too many things at once and make silly mistakes. I've broken it down into 3 steps for you. First, get the radical alone. Second, square or cube or whatever we have to do to get rid of the root. And then third, solve and check. It is really important that you check to make sure that your solution works. You're going to run across times where maybe that solution isn't really a solution after all. So example 1, the first thing you can see is that this radical is not isolated. We've got this subtraction of 1 sitting there with it. So we're going to add 1 to both sides, and we'll have the square root of y minus 2 is equal to 6. Because it's a square root, that means that we're going to have to square both sides. If it had been the cubed root, we would cube both sides. Okay? By squaring the left-hand side, we have gotten rid of the root, and then on the right-hand side, we just need to make sure we remember to square it. And now it's just a basic algebra problem once again. So we get our answer, and then let's just check it quick. Sub that 38 in for the y. 38 minus 2 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. 6 minus 1 gives you 5. It works. So there we go. Okay, let's try example 2. If you think you want to try this on your own, go for it. You'll notice that it's already isolated. So we get to just jump to step 2 right away. And that is that we get to raise both of these sides of the equation to the 4th power. Again, on the left side, by raising it to the 4th, all we've done is gotten rid of the radical. On the right-hand side, we need to make sure that we raise 2 to the 4th power. And now we've got ourselves a very elementary equation. So 2n is 10, so we can see that n is going to be 5. So again, if we check it, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. The 4th root of 16 is 2. So it works. Now, you may see these problems written in a different form, like example 3. And example 3, you can either choose to write it with the root, the radical, or you can actually keep it with the fractional exponent. So here's an option for you if you feel more comfortable with that. I'm going to show you what to do when you keep it with the fractional exponent. Otherwise, if you want to do it like I just wrote in black, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's like the previous examples. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to isolate our root. Because it's still a root, even though it's got that exponent on it. Now you have to ask yourselves, what would you have to multiply 1/3 by to get it to be the 1st power? Because that's what we want, is to the 1st power. Well, we'd have to multiply or raise it to the 3rd power. Because when you have a power to a power, you multiply your exponents. What we do on one side, we're going to have to do on the other. So now we've got 3y plus 1 is equal to negative 125. Now go ahead and solve. Subtract 1. Oop, run out of room here. So we have 3y is equal to negative 126. And then when we divide, we'll take negative 126 and divide it by 3. Y is going to give us negative 42. If we check it, negative 42 times 3 is going to give us negative 126. Add 1 to it, you get negative 125. And then if you take the cubed root of that, you think, oh, I can't take the cubed root, it's a negative. But remember, that you're thinking of square roots. Cubed roots can be negative. So take the cubed root of negative 125, that's negative 5. Add negative 5 to 5, and you get 0. So it works. Okay, now this one is a little more complex, just that instead of only having to add 6, we also have to remember to get rid of the 3. Sometimes people do it in the wrong order. Remember, it's always the adding or subtracting, and then the multiplying or dividing. So we'll add 6. So we've got 3 times this quantity. And then we'll divide both sides by 3. So now we're looking at the 4th root of 2n plus 6 equals 2. Now we get to raise both sides to the 4th power. 2n plus 6 is equal to 16. And again, this looks like deja vu, doesn't it? And we get n is equal to 5. Now the last problem, you'll notice, looks a little different than the others because we have a root on both sides. Not a big deal. You'll notice that both the roots are isolated, so we go right into squaring, and what that does for us is it just gives us this equation. And now it's just a problem to finish out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to quit talking. I've been doing a lot of recording. So 2x minus 2. If we check it, first radical, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 2. Square root of, or sorry, 3, I can't even talk. 3 minus 2 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. And then over on the other side, you're taking the square root of 1. So it works. That is it. I mean, that's all there is to this. I think you should be good to go.